Welcome, everybody. This is another episode of Unisharks podcast. This is Mako, joined by my two co-hosts.
Hi.
Hi.
They are there. I made sure. So we'll get this kicked off with meme of the week. It was hard to pick one because for some reason this time around we have a lot more cursed ones than usual. So I think the one that we settled on though would have to be, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but the Shaquille O'Neal AI generated commercial. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it was pretty cursed. So
yeah, it was so bad.
yeah,
every time, like I would start watching it for a few seconds, I'd have to stop and say, "Okay, no, I can't do it," and then I'd try again. It would just get worse, and I have to stop again.
yeah, it's pretty wild. I'm not sure why, but meme of the week this past time has been a lot of cursed ones. Must be part something going on.
Yeah. The world's getting weirder.
This reminds me of the Resident Evil, like facial expressions by like 500%.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Except it's every single movement. An AI Shaquille voice. Saying like Shaquille Schwammer, shake and shakes.
I really hope he reacts to that. Oh, he's so great.
That would be amazing. Because it's like having a visual stroke. Like it's like you're watching a stroke happen. Somehow, like artistically happen in front of you. It's so bad.
Oh goodness.
Definitely going to put the link to that one so you all can experience it. Witness what we have witnessed.
Right. Yeah, I remember this one. I watched this really weird, like cursed, like real meme. I remember one of the comments below was saying, like, I would love to send this to like my group chat, but no one gets like Gen Z humor or gets my humor. No, I totally feel you. Like every time I try to share like some meme that makes me laugh to like my peers, it's like, what's wrong with you? Oh my god, I don't know. My humor's broken. I don't know.
They're all just uncultured swine. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
All right. So, first topic I wanted to hand off to, we'll hear from Hammerhead. Take it away.
Okay. So this is a topic we've hinted at a couple times, and we've kind of been putting off. We actually kind of talked about it a little bit, I think it's the last episode, but we never had a full discussion on it. So recently, I don't know about some of the like games that just came out, but some of the, I guess, name brand games that have been coming out have been the $70 price range. And before, anything that was at that price was usually like a special edition. But now it's the normal edition. But I will say it tends to only be AAA game titles or brands or whatever. What's your guys' kind of general opinions on it? Do you see it being the norm? Do you think it's what's the right word? Like deserved? Kind of those thoughts.
I think it depends on each game. I think for me personally, since I'm like a PC player, I usually wait until games go on sale anyways. So
yeah.
But yeah, it seems like it's getting more expensive. It might be because the economy is getting worse, not really necessarily the quality of the games. Because, for example, Gollum came out and that's still $70. It's like really you charge $30 for this. But yeah, I guess it depends on each game. Some games I feel like really deserve it, but other games are like, nah. Do you know what I
mean?
Yeah. For me, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. One thing I noticed too is that like they're starting to like do a lot of price walls for a lot of games. Like they'll pay extra $10 for this extra stuff, and it's like a lot of the stuff should be in the game already. It's like why you're charging extra.
Yeah.
I remember like Callisto Protocol came out. It's like oh spend like I think it was like $10 or $20 more for like seeing the extra death animations. It's like you're buying a horror game. Shouldn't that be in the game already? It's like why are you paying extra for these horror animations or
Yeah.
death animations?
Pay extra so you can see yourself die worse.
For real.
That's unbelievable. I think my take on it is that I don't really mind it too much because it's just kind of, part of a market economy. Like, as long as you're getting bang for your buck, as long as what you're spending your money on is worth every dollar, then, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is as long as you're getting a quality product, then I'm fine paying a higher price for it. Like, I hate when I see comments every time Netflix raises its prices or whatever that, oh, it's all about greed. It's like, well, no, sometimes businesses expand and sometimes the cost of doing business goes up. So do the prices.
Well,
And, oh, go ahead.
Netflix is a little.
Oh, yeah. Netflix was a bad example because they're just, yeah. But I mean, my point is like, when a company raises prices, usually it's because they're expanding or, there's some global issue like, microchips are more expensive or the supply chains had some kind of issue. I don't know. I'm kind of trailing off, but my point is, as long as you feel you're getting the value from what you're spending, I don't really see the problem as long as it doesn't get ridiculous and prices rising. So like, if a game came out and it is the single greatest game ever made, then yeah, I'm fine paying an extra $10 for it. Heck, I'd pay $100 for it. So, I mean, especially when it comes to video games, because we still have our Sega Genesis, which is over 30 years old at this point, and we still play it every now and then. Like something like video games you tend to get your money's worth on them. That's the phrase I was looking for, and I kept scrambling for it. Like, I had a Canadian roommate. He would spend $50 a month to go to a rock climbing gym. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to disparage your hobbies, and rock climbing's really fun, but $50 a month?
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, the $70 video games, I see customers, communities freaking out, going, oh, $70, it's too much. And like, well, it's $70 for a game that you're probably going to be playing for years and years and years. So I'd say that's a fair value. If, of course, like I mentioned, the game is worth it. So, and with, like Mike Lemon said, with the economy kind of going down a bit, a lot of companies are laying people off in preparation for a recession. And with gaming budgets, like gaming expenses getting higher and higher by the sound of it. I mean, I think now the average budget for a AAA title is over 100 million. Like we're talking almost film budgets. Like, yeah, it kind of makes sense we'd start seeing prices rise. I mean, I think I mentioned on our last episode that I remember buying Lego Star Wars for $30 back in the day. Now it's like, everything's $60. So it's just kind of something I expected, I guess.
It's hard because, like, in all honesty, I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay anything because I'm selfish. But it's hard to do that these days. I mean, you're saying you wait for sales, and which you definitely can for a lot of games, like on Steam and everything. But then this is more just Nintendo. But then,
Mhm.
like they never have sales for their mainline game. And when they do go down in price, it's because the sequel came out.
Yeah, or it's like a special occasion, like the Mario movie coming out.
Yeah, which that's not timed. Like on Steam, there's going to be a sale during Halloween. There's going to be a sale during Christmas, New Year's, all these different times of the years, and you can just wait.
Yeah,
And
that's how I. Sorry.
I'm not going.
That's how I got like a massive collection of Star Wars games on Steam because they just have a huge sale every year on May the 4th. So I just wait for that.
Yeah, and usually you have a certain amount of games that the wait isn't that bad, Um, but the problem is, and then maybe this will lean into our next topic, but Fallout 76, that wasn't $70. That wasn't $70. It was a $60 game, I believe.
Yeah.
But they only put out $30 worth of content. And that $30 worth of content was buggy.
Plus the extra $5 of free in-shop currency for as an apology to all the players.
Yeah, which is not even enough to get anything. We have to purchase some, so you always have extra. It's like the extra dip for chips, and then you get too many chips, and you need more dip. Um, and we've talked about this before, more than a couple times. But if they're wanting these prices, but not putting out the game that deserves that price, I really don't want that price to be normal, because it's just going to continue on with bugginess, and we're just going to have to fork out the $10 extra for a half-baked game. And
That's a fair point.
you two brought up the point, if they put out a game that's basically finished, or is finished, I mean, not basically, I don't want basically, and you're going to put hours into it, then yeah, you can say that price is valid. Like with Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. We already talked about this a little bit, but Lemon wasn't with us. I've probably put over easily 150 hours, like not even, probably more, closer to 200. That's totally worth its price.
Yeah.
Again, another Nintendo, I know. But even Animal Crossing, they make it locked behind time, but I have 160, 170 hours in that game. That's worth the price. And then, like the Halo, older Halo games. Yeah, I can beat the game in like 10 hours, but I'm going to replay it more than one time. And so it's worth the price.
Oh, and
And,
since you, oh,
uh-huh.
sorry, I just wanted to say, since you mentioned Halo, there's also like sometimes there's game collections too, like the Master Chief Collection, where you get a whole slew of games for the price of one big AAA game.
Mm-hmm. And so it's like, you don't want to just see, oh yeah, I can put a ton of hours into this. Yeah, I can put a ton of hours in any game. I just put the game on and I go to bed. Well, I can get a lot of hours in it, but does it have that replayability? Does it have all this content that I can keep searching for even though I finished the game? Is
Yeah.
it actually finished? And those need to be first before they slap on the $70 price tag, in my opinion.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, and that's true. Like, we mentioned Gollum earlier, and it's like that game's absolutely not worth its price tag. But then on the flip side, we have, Hi-Fi Rush, which is an excellent game. It had free post-game content, and it's only 30.
Yeah.
So, but that's like kind of a, black horse, rainbow unicorn, whatever you want to call it. Because, I feel like most studios, if they feel like they can get away with selling it full price, they will, even if it's not actually worth it.
Yep.
Yep, true that.
Do you want to move to that game then?
Yeah. Do you want to take it away, Lemon?
Sure. So we mentioned a game called Gollum recently. I haven't played it. Um, I've I've just watched stuff about it, but I don't know, just watching it, I was like, dang, this is what the state of AAA gaming has gone to, I guess, in some cases. It's like all the games that have come out recently, like we've got like Street Fighter 6 and a couple months ago we got Harry Potter or the Hogwarts Legacy and then Dead
Oh
Space.
yeah.
Like of all the games that have come out this past year, like why would I pick Gollum out of all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like a bad idea. Like, who the heck thought about this? It feels like a game they kind of gave up halfway and they just put it out because.
Yeah. Like I was when I first heard they were making a Gollum game, I was kind of with a lot of other people. I was like, well, it's an interesting idea, but who wants to play that?
Mhm.
And they're like, well, it's going to be like a stealth game. It's a little bit like Sticks, the old Sticks stealth games. I'm like, okay, those games aren't bad. And then the first trailer dropped. I was like, what in the world am I looking at? Gollum looks like a bunch of rolled up white Play-Doh glued together with a few strands of hair. And his voice actor, I don't want to slam on the voice actor, but he just doesn't suit him really well. Like for so long, it's either been Andy Serkis or an impression of Andy Serkis. And while I don't want to, lock the character to that one performance, it's just there's a reason why it's always copied because it's so good and it's so iconic. And then this new one, he sounds so nasally and annoying. Like I don't like listening to him talk. And then, the gameplay didn't look great, but all of the comments were weirdly supportive out of nowhere. So I was like, all right, well, I guess we'll see what happens. And then it comes out and it's a total failure. Yeah, it was just like, it seemed doomed to fail from the very beginning.
Yeah, I don't even know what the game is like, who the game is made for, because it doesn't even like follow like Lord of the Rings lore. And it's like of all the characters you can play in Lord of the Rings, like why'd you pick Gollum alone?
Well, and Rings of Power doesn't really follow the lore that well, but it at least, has good production design and some exciting fight scenes. So there is something there for some people. It has some moments of good humor. It has good elements that some people will enjoy, but Gollum, it's kind of like what Dunkey said in his review of it. He's like, it's just such an unpleasant game to play because it's not fun. It's miserable. It's set in a really nasty setting, Mordor. So like you were saying, like who's it for?
Yeah. No, it's weird because when you think about just Gollum, it's like there is hundreds of years of what happened to him previously that you don't really know too much about. Um, and so it's like, oh, okay, maybe they're bridging that gap time
Yeah.
wise. That's why he has more hair, and I can see why the voice is different. But I mean, even when they showed the flashback of when he was normal, he had a very similar voice. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know why it changed too much, but like if it was bridging stuff that we didn't get covered about Gollum's life, yeah, that'd be interesting story wise.
Yeah, like if it had a strong story, if it was kind of like a character story or character study of Gollum, it could have been really good for the
Yeah,
story, if nothing else.
but like comparing it to the more recent, no, not the more recent, the most recent Lord of the Rings game before that, wasn't that Shadow of Mordor? Not Shadow of Mordor. What's the sequel?
Uh, Sh-
Uh,
Shadow of War, or was that the first one? I think it was Shadow of Mordor. That was the sequel, wasn't it?
Are they? Oh well,
Yeah, one of those ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
those games, they look better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was like 2018, 2017.
Right.
And
Yeah. And like not even the art style argument is really enough to save it. It just looks bad.
yeah, and I don't know. It it just feels out of place. They relied too heavily on the Lord of the Rings name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like I feel like Lord of the Rings has been mostly untouched for so long. You know, it's like that meme where the guy's getting hung and he looks the guy next to him and says, "Oh, first time." You know, speaking as like seeing what's happened with Star Wars and Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's starting to happen to Lord of the Rings, where you know we get creatively bankrupt nonsense that's just banking on the name.
Yeah.
And actually, there was a trailer today. I think it was part of Summer's Game Fest. They're making another Lord of the Rings game. This one is going to be a kind of a strategy crafting game focused on the dwarves.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, like the idea is that you're trying to retake Moria, so you're in control of a dwarven expedition and you have to build up forts and defend them against orc attacks, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it's just called Mines of Moria.
Yeah, that's it.
Hmm.
Or Return to Moria, something like that.
Yeah. I think it's saved. Yeah, that game I'm excited for because overall I like elves a little bit more, but when it comes to like games and stories and like exploring, I think dwarven type stuff is just so fun. I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys have ever played this one game called Dragon Age.
heard of it.
But in that game, you make up your party of the different races, the dwarves, the elves, humans, magi, and I think a couple other things maybe. Oh, you can get a dog. Okay,
Oh, nice.
but in the dwarven area, you get to explore all this underground stuff, and it's so I don't know, it's so much fun to explore mines, and we know that the mine of Moria at least is very, very deep, so I think that'd be really cool.
Oh yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a full-on kingdom under the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess like just looking at it as a whole, like you guys were saying, Gollum's is kind of a depressing example of like gaming at its worst. You know, ugly, not worth the price, uninspired, and kind of just an empty cash grab.
PS2 era.
Yeah. The worst part is looking at like the interviews they had before the game came out. It doesn't look like they were uncaring. They just didn't seem to know what to do with the game.
Yeah, it's been in development for like a long time too, hasn't it? Because I think I remember seeing like teaser trailers for it like quite a while ago, like
Yeah.
back in 2017 and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's been quite a bit of development hell into that one.
Yeah.
Let's see. It was it was announced in March of 2019, but they might have teased it in 2017.
Maybe.
Jeez.
That's so
Yeah,
bad.
dude. Actually, no. I think what I'm thinking about, I saw a teaser trailer for some other Lord of the Rings game, and it showed like Gandalf, and then like there's like a cinematic trailer that shows Gandalf facing off like Sauron, and all of a sudden Gollum pops up and tries attacking Gandalf, and it's like, what the heck? Like, I remember the comments that people were like, what the heck would Gollum be in this fight? You consider in this fight, but yeah, I have to find that teaser trailer and see if it actually got made or not.
Yeah, it could be like one of those mobile games.
Oh yeah, that could be it. But yeah. Yep, that's pretty much all I have to say about Gollum. I haven't played it, and I probably never will. So
Yeah, same.
Also, I'm wondering, you're not thinking of Return to Nangrim, are you?
I'm not sure. Let me look it up really quick.
That's
How do
the
you spell
dwarven one. It's first person though. Nangrim,
Nan?
Nangrim. But oh dang, it's only single player. That'd be so much fun as a group.
Oh, Nangrim.
Oh, at least there's Deep Rock Galactic.
That's true. I did get that on sale.
Oh, you got Deep Rock Galactic?
I did, yeah. It was like I think it was like $10 on Steam when I got it. So
Oh, that's such a fun game.
yeah, I still haven't played it yet. But yeah. Anyways, yeah.
Okay, Return to Moria is a thing.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that was the title.
I
All
wonder,
right.
is it going to be multiplayer though?
It looked like it.
Okay.
All right, so my topic's kind of tied into those. Mine was that this year has been like loaded with games. You know, we've had a lot of ups and downs so far this first 6 months. Still a lot of big releases coming out in the last half of the year. You know, and on the one hand, there's the bad stuff. There's the $70 price tags. There's Gollum. There's, you know, Redfall, supposed to be the first big release for Xbox under the ZeniMax umbrella. Absolute disaster. And then, you know, Last of Us has a PC port. Disaster. Jedi Survivor, great game. Disastrous launch. And then apparently EA is trying to sneak NFTs into their new Madden game, reportedly.
Didn't they try that before and got a horrible backlash?
Yeah, but this time though, it's not an NFT. It's special cosmetic items that you design and then sell. Yeah, so I'm like, okay. It's the old marketing tactic. If they won't buy it, then just slap a new name tag on it and try to resell it. So yeah, some bad stuff going on. But then on the bright side, you know, earlier this year, Hi-Fi Rush comes out, critically acclaimed, only $30, a lot of content. Nintendo's seen a lot of success. Fire Emblem Engage was a pretty big hit for them. Tears of the Kingdom sold 10 million copies in 3 days, and it's the biggest selling game in Nintendo history.
Wait, seriously?
Oh yeah. So, and then you know, we get the Mario movie. It's just a fun, goofy movie that wants to be something the fans will like. So it's a big hit. And then, you know, Street Fighter 6 comes out, huge hit, number one fighting game of all time on Steam. And I keep seeing comments on the subreddit about how like my wife hates fighting games, but she wanted to play Street Fighter 6. And, you know, and then of course, Capcom also remade Resident Evil 4, another big hit. Starfield's supposed to come out later this year, and Microsoft promised that they put a lot of effort into it. They actually helped what's their name? Bethesda make it, so it shouldn't hopefully be another Redfall situation. So I guess looking at it all, how do you guys think that the gaming industry is headed? Like, do you think maybe people will start learning from the good examples that I mentioned and things will improve a bit, or do you think it might slide down a little bit more, you know, with more efforts to integrate NFTs, more bad game releases, you know, kind of shoddy practices?
Okay, I'll go first. Uh, so I don't feel like it's going to change too much.
Mhm.
And my reasoning why is this tends to be a trend, at least every other year, where half the games we get now are just half baked, and then the other ones have just been really good. And all the backlashes that have been happening, I feel a lot of the companies are still thinking, "Oh, that won't happen to us," and um, and then try doing the same thing and then get in trouble for it. And when there is backlash, they try to just wait it out and hopefully people forget about it and do it again later on.
Yeah, I almost forgot to mention Blizzard and them canceling most of Overwatch's PvE campaign and then lying about it until the game came out. Well after the game came out.
Yeah. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, if they don't see it, they will forget about it. The whole reason why they signed up. Okay.
Yeah, if you build it, they will come. And if they don't come, then you just got to make it look pretty enough until they do come.
Yep. But a lot of people, I guess a lot of people have dropped out of playing Overwatch 2 right now.
Oh, is that right?
At least I've heard and read a lot of comments of people saying that that they just dropped. It's like, oh, I'm not playing anymore because the main content that I was super excited for, they just got rid of and left a bunch of cash grabs.
Yeah, although they just revealed their special skin for this next season.
Mm-hmm.
It's elf tracer, like medieval fantasy elf tracer. So there's a lot of people saying like, oh, I don't want to support Blizzard, but I really like Tracer and I really like that skin. And it's the thing you just get caught up in. It's just these stupid, scummy corporations have your favorite characters and favorite franchises by the balls. So it's like sometimes you just got to think what you want to do about it.
Yeah, it's their fan service is what's keeping them alive.
Exactly.
But those are kind of my thoughts. I hope that they don't forget what happens when there's a backlash, and I hope that they don't just want people to just forget about it so they could try it again. It's like, no, people didn't want NFTs the first time. We don't want NFTs. It's like, but maybe now it's summertime. It warmed up a little bit to it. It's like, no, there's a reason.
just
No means no. Listen to our consent.
You're just high right now, Steve.
Yeah. But those are kind of my thoughts as of right now.
Yeah. As for me, I'm not really sure. There's not really anything I'm really excited for in the gaming future wise, but that can always change. This past year though, I do feel like there's been a lot of like good things in the gaming industry, at least for me personally. Like there's a lot of cool stuff coming out there, but part of me is also kind of tired of the gaming industry a little bit too. I feel like part of me just goes back to replaying like the old games I enjoyed older.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's a nostalgia thing. Like I'm not sure if I just play those games because it's older or if games were actually better back then. But it just seems like I'm not. Every time I hear about a new game release, I'm not as excited as I once was. I guess. Part of me is like I want to see how the game plays before I actually invest in it. But yeah, there's lots. But at the same time, there's lots of good stuff happening this year, at least, and I can see some stuff coming out. But I guess a lot of it has to do with how expensive games are getting now. Like there's a lot more effort and stuff being put into them. So I feel like they're putting a lot of extra effort into like graphics and all this stuff, but yet kind of missing out on like what makes a game fun.
Yeah.
I guess. For example, like Left 4 Dead 2, that game came out like I don't know, like 10 years ago almost, and it has like still has like 20 to 30,000 players on it like daily. And it's like one of those games that like stands the test of time. It's like are these companies trying to make games that actually like are special and like really they're masterpieces, or they're just making like quick cash grabs? And I feel like it's kind of something that's happening in like all the media industries right now. It feels like there's very few like passionate stuff being produced and created versus a lot of cash grabs. yeah, it's really hard to find like stuff. I feel like a lot of people put passion into, and not just something that is just plugged out, put out there. But it could also be a quantity versus quality theme too. Just there's so much out there; it's hard to like find stuff that works good for you, and it's impossible to consume all of it. But yeah, another comment I heard about online. Someone uh he's the title of the YouTube video is that hot takes that you're not ready to hear for, and one hot take he said, like, the guy said, he's like, the gaming industry is pretty terrible, but then again, gamers are pretty terrible too, so maybe we deserve it. He's like, I got a good point there. Like, a lot of times they produce what we buy, so it's like you vote with your dollar, and well, you spend money where you really want it to be. And that's the same thing with like games being released like unfinished and broken. It's like why should I spend money on the game on a product that's like broken and not fixed? So
Yeah.
but well, no, I'm hopeful at the same time. Like, I'm hoping that there will be some good stuff that comes out, and some innovative stuff that comes out too. That's good and exciting. So we'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, for me, I kind of agree with Hammer. Like, I don't think the status quo is going to have any crazy changes. I don't think we're going to hit the point where it's like the '80s, where video game industry was on its like last gasp, and then Mario came and saved the day. I think there's going to be this kind of cycles of lessons learned and lessons not learned. You'll have companies like EA and Ubisoft that keep trying to work NFTs into their products, and then you'll still have bad management. Bobby Kotick claiming that unions are the real enemy and that Blizzard doesn't have a sexist work culture. And then there's the Redfall employees who are like actually hoping that Microsoft would cancel Redfall once they bought them, because they just had no idea what to do because their managers were just clueless. And yeah, and just chasing trends. We want you guys to make a multiplayer game, but we don't know how. We made stuff like Deathloop and Prey. Those are single players. You'll figure it out. We got the magic.
Wow.
Yeah, that was actually in the article I was reading. It was very sad. But and then of course, like you were saying, Lemon, we are kind of at that point where a lot of stuff are just empty cash grabs, or just as bad, these obnoxious little artiste things where they put out something that's pretty bad and then insist that you don't understand it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I kind of get that. It's like, yeah, put out just to put out, but yeah, it's tough too. I feel like yeah, we're just at a point where there's just so much media and stuff out there. It's really hard to like sift through stuff to find the stuff that actually stands out.
Yeah.
But there's hope out there too. I think part of it's also me as well, because I feel like I said before, like I find myself replaying a lot of older games, and might be because of nostalgia too. Like maybe it wasn't that the games were better back then, or maybe it's just my nostalgia. Like, who knows, So
it's probably a mix of both.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it the other day, like a lot of the games I've played that like really made an impact me, that I like really love and want to replay. Like, a lot of them aren't really like newer games. Like, I think the newest released game that I would consider my top 5 would be like Subnautica, and that's like a indie game. So it's like,
yeah,
a lot of the games that like made impact on me personally like are not really these big AAA games that much, anyways.
Mhm.
But
yeah, and like I feel like, oh, sorry, good.
Oh, you go ahead, say.
No, I was gonna say, like, and I do feel like there are still people in the industry that want to make good games and that have a good vision for it. Again, like the guys that made Hi-Fi Rush, and then every now and then there's some new indie darling like Hollow Knight or Shovel Knight. So Yeah, like I feel like we'll still kind of have this cycle of really crappy AAA games and then really excellently well-made AAA games like Tears of the Kingdom, and just gotta hope that studios start remembering that you need a quality product, and that's what drives sales, and that's what gives you money.
Yeah, we're not in the DLC on everything era.
Yeah. I remember when Battlefield 5 came out, and they're like, we actually didn't finish most of it, so we'll be adding that in over the next few months. Yeah. Any other thoughts?
No.
Nope, not at the moment.
Okay. I think we did touch a little bit, Lemon and I, on Street Fighter 6, because I've been playing that a lot lately, especially the character customization stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm a big sucker for character customization, so I'm definitely gonna think buying the game.
Too. I'm not very good at it because I just don't have the patience, but every time I see one, I just think of the possibilities.
Right.
With Street Fighter 6, they have such an insane one, like so many options and so much freedom. Like I've seen people make Senator Armstrong from Metal Gear Solid, whatever it was, with Jack the Ripper. The one that's like, I played college ball at a nano machine, son. That guy.
Oh, that guy, the last boss, yeah.
Yeah, somebody made him, put him in the game, and they gave him like hair to match the nanomachine patches from the cutscene.
Oh no!
This other guy posted that he made what's his name, Heisenberg from Breaking Bad.
Oh no!
Yeah. So he posted the picture and he's like, "I am the one who knocks." Then earlier, Maximilian Dude, well-known YouTuber in the fighting game community, he posted a freak fight video where he just went to the battle hub and he was like watching all these players of all these ridiculous, just scary-looking cursed creations fighting each other. Like people have set the thighs to 0 and the calves to 100. So you got like thighs the size of twigs and calves that are like the size of a cement block, just kicking each other.
Oh goodness!
And like when I first tried the tutorial for it, I was like just messing around with the sliders. You can set your character's skin shininess all the way to 100, and then they're glowing, like just a white glowing silhouette. I'm like, I can actually make God and just walk around. And then of course there's clothes you can put on.
Yeah, that's what we need. That's what we need in the gaming industry: is more customization and more freedom to the players. I feel like we need more of that.
Yeah, exactly.
More opportunities to create cursed stuff. But yeah, go ahead.
I was just agreeing with you. Like, yeah, just give the people what they want. Let them make those weird, freakish abominations.
Mm-hmm.
I've had so much fun. Like, I went the normal route and just made myself as much as I had the patience for, as near as I could. But it's still just, it's just a lot of fun. So, all right. Well, I think that wraps up this episode. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.